button pressed.
Believe we're live.
Oh boy, oh boy.
Yep.
Oh my god.
All right.
Hello.
Hello.
I am messaging people.
Ah, I gotcha.
So,
Curtis, we were having an interesting discussion on the ride over here about the Lord of the Rings animated feature films and how the studio wanted to condense all three Lord of the Rings stories into a single movie.
I have heard this, yes.
The director of the project negotiated to make 2 films and then only made one of those 2 films.
Right.
This has been an amusing anecdote. Also slightly interesting because we have about 3 movies crammed into a single movie that we are talking about today.
I see. I understand now. Huh. Well, it was a lengthy feature film, that's for sure.
Wasn't it? It was a thing. So Curtis, it occurred to me afterwards, once you texted me, that you had never seen Batman vs Superman, and I believe you'd said as much, but my brain didn't register it until you were like, I don't get it, or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen, little clips of parts of it, but...
Alright, so let me sum up that movie in about 45 seconds. Lex Luthor creates a very convoluted and complex plan to get Batman and Superman to fight each other, and when that fails, he mixes his blood with the dead remains of General Zod to create Doomsday, who then Batman and Superman have to team up and fight against. Which you saw at the very beginning of this movie, Superman dying, was the end of Batman vs. Superman. But also that was about 20 minutes before the end of Batman vs. Superman because that movie went on for a while.
I see. Okay. Well, that's kind of what I figured. Must have been some evil force, something. Man died. I guess I don't.
In order to kill Doomsday, the dead remains of General Zod, he had to use a kryptonite spear, or Kryptonian spear. Spear made out of kryptonite. Those are the words. Tweeting or something. Curtis, you might have to restart the stream.
Uh-oh.
An error occurred.
Oh, what the heck? It says we have excellent connection. Okay, I'll stop. Okay, I'm restarting it. Learn more. I'm learning more. I'm not learning more. It's not doing anything. Alright, I will...
Okay.
I'm starting it back up. Okay. I think we're back. Looks like we're back. Excellent connection. Some turbulence there. Yep. I think we're good. We're good to go. I don't know where we were, but...
Okay, well. I don't know where we were either or how much of that we got, but we're talking about Justice League, and we're partway into the discussion. The beginning of this may or may not exist. Who knows? Let's
Looks
keep
like
moving.
the beginning existed. It was just. It was a little blip. A blip of black. No video. But we're back now, so.
Okay.
We have restarted, and
Heather said we were talking about Will Smith.
oh, Will Smith. He's a man that exists.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Ryan, have you ever watched the movie Gemini Man, starring Will Smith?
I refused to watch Gemini Man because I did not want to give in.
I had no choice. The Carroll football team at the end of fall camp, or I forget when, went to a movie collectively, and we went to see Gemini Man the year it was out, which I think was 2 years?
2019.
Yeah, whatever. Let me tell you, it was god-awful.
Mm-hmm.
Will Smith, I've noticed, does not have the best history of picking fantastic projects. I think he got lucky with I Am Legend.
See, it's interesting.
And
There's a lot
Independence
of
Day.
mixed reviews for I Am Legend in any case. Although
True.
I do like it.
He has dubious projects. So I
Yeah.
think the fact that Suicide Squad was also a steaming pile of garbage should not be a surprise to anybody.
Plus, wasn't that movie like
I have no clue.
it was like rewritten several times and
I believe it. Like, it was a concept movie that didn't use its interesting concept to any extensive degree.
could be.
What do you mean
Not
could be? I watched it.
I never did.
Fine.
I think I know what I was saying.
I don't.
So at the time of the Justice League's premiere back in 2017, Marvel Cinematic Universe was kind of in full swing of let's create great action, but also make them kind of comedic too. So
Joss
Warner
Whedon.
Brothers was like,
We need to do that.
we need to do the exact same thing, and we will get success. And they looked at Zack Snyder's stuff so far, and they were like, oh, you went with the route of all of the other movies we made so far, which were very dark and serious.
Dark.
Yes. Are you sure you're not from the DC universe?
Ryan Reynolds.
So, I think there are probably plenty of other reasons why the studio decided let's not stick with Zack Snyder for the rest of this and try to
Right.
go for a more lighthearted look for our movie going forward. Well,
We
I
saw
don't-
well that worked.
we saw how well it worked,
It didn't.
and now we're here
Now we're here. We have
with a 4-hour
4
movie
hours.
because Zack Snyder filmed like
A lot.
a lot of stuff.
But let's be realistic. If not for these set of circumstances, we would not be watching a 4-hour cut of this movie.
True.
For
But the problem now is that this movie was essentially just like, this is for the fans.
Right.
Nothing is going to come of this because the studio's...
Because the studio won't do anything,
Yeah.
which is unfortunate. But I mean, the fans at least got something. We
I
got
know.
the movie, and I am adamant that this movie is better because it is 4 hours long. It gives the story enough time to tell you what's going on and tell you who these characters are.
Yeah.
Because this movie is also doing the work of at least 3 different origin movies.
Which I think was the problem when Joss Whedon came out with the version back in 2017, because they wanted to speed things up.
Right. They wanted to jump into their Avengers Avengers parody like in parallel.
Yeah.
They were playing catch up with Marvel, and they had done none of the legwork to get there. So now we have this movie.
Where Zack Snyder, he put in the time, he put in the effort to try his best at establishing a more well-rounded DC universe. He already had some things in place. You know, it's an okay Superman movie.
Superman's barely in this movie.
I mean, prior DC movies. The Superman movie was at least okay.
Man of Steel was okay. Batman vs Superman's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Why did you say that name?
Martha.
He's gonna kill Martha. Why did you say that name? It's like you could have just said that like 10 minutes before. Oh, we wouldn't have had an action scene between Batman and Superman. The name of the movie. Oh no. Yeah.
Your thoughts, Curtis?
Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, didn't watch those first couple of movies, but I don't know. There were just a couple of scenes where Superman's kind of gazing out at the cornfield or whatever, and it just felt, I don't know, like we were sitting there for maybe a little too long.
I mean, you're trying to convey Superman regaining himself.
Yeah.
Right.
After he's been dead and resurrected through an alien piece of technology and also some Kryptonian technology, this whole thing.
It comes down to this. Would you have preferred to see Superman just kind of snap out of it after like a scene and automatically come and join in the action, or would you like to see him actually kind of, maybe not the human process of regaining himself since he's not human, but a process of some sort showing that he is, sort of coming back to normal?
Yeah, I mean,
or what's more believable, I suppose.
Yeah, it just, I don't know. It's already a lengthy movie. I was talking to a coworker who said that them dividing it up into, 6 parts and an epilogue or whatever, has been very handy for him because he'll watch one part and then turn it off and watch the next part the next day because...
Yeah.
That was my...
Oh,
that was my style.
I binged it all in one night.
I couldn't do that. It's too much.
It was 2:30 when it ended.
Yeah, I would have almost been getting ready for work at that time.
Yeah. It sucked to be you. You win. I feel better now.
What you talking about, Willis?
It gets old. That's something no one will understand.
You never know. We might have a couple musical fans out there.
It's possible. For those of you who are blissfully unaware, I'm going to tell you that was a reference to a musical called Avenue Q.
Yes.
Now you know.
It's funny.
Yeah. I don't remember where we were.
We were still kind of talking about run times and stuff like that.
Oh, right. There are... I felt that at least some of the gratuitous slow-mo scenes could have at least been played in full motion, and we probably could have cut a half an hour off this movie.
Are you talking about the scenes in the beginning?
Yeah, sure.
When Superman is crying out or whatever?
That was part of it, yes. But there's also, Aquaman standing on the end of a dock getting consumed by waves. That's in full slow-mo, so they can play a kind of poppy song, but not really pop song. There's stuff like that.
You gotta show more shots of what's his name?
Jason Momoa?
Yeah, Jason Momoa.
Justice League came out before Aquaman movie, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. That explains a lot more of this world building for Atlantis and stuff.
When I was watching this with Mary, she was very confused about this entire thing because she was like, I thought Aquaman came before all of this. Why are all these things happening? Why is he not the king of Atlantis yet? I'm like, it's confusing. I'm sorry.
I didn't remember which one came first, and I was like, oh look, William Dafoe. That's cool.
I know. I like Willem Dafoe.
He could have used a green Power Ranger mask to go with his green armor.
But he wasn't. But he wasn't riding around on that glider thing.
No, he was floating around.
And no pumpkin bombs.
That's true. Heather agrees that they needed more Jason Momoa.
I
I
was
understand.
While you did not like the long slow motions at the beginning of the movie, I found that kind of helpful later on, because this would be a major difference from the Whedon cut to the Snyder cut. They kind of caught everybody up with the plot of, what's the villain's name again?
Doom? No, not Doomsday.
What's his name, Curtis?
Darkseid? Steppenwolf?
Darkseid.
Steppenwolf.
Oh
yeah.
Steppenwolf?
Well, both of them actually.
Yeah, sure.
So, in the Snyder cut, there's just kind of this weird little scene where Batman catches a criminal, and this criminal does a bunch of exposition on what sets off the events of the movie.
Oh.
Essentially talking about how he went crazy because this weird bug person thing that kind of looked like a bat, took over a bunch of people, and there was all this exposition about this and that. Whereas in this movie, it's explained later on at the beginning of those slow-mo scenes that when Superman died, it sent a signal to the boxes saying that this world.
Well, I thought it was his death scream sort of awakening the boxes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because that sent a signal to the boxes with the death scream.
That the Kryptonian guarding the planet was dead.
Yes.
Got it.
Meaning that it could be taken again. I guess.
What was happening with the boxes before Superman was there?
They just kind of started.
They had been.
They were just kind of there.
In those flashbacks to the
right.
the army way they sealed the boxes in different concrete stuff.
Yeah.
Was essentially it, and then they put them places.
Right.
I mean, humanity was really simple. They were like, we're gonna put it in a hole.
Right.
The Atlanteans were like, we'll put it in a temple, and the Amazonians were like, we'll build this huge elaborate contraption to sink it into the ocean. Humanity was, we'll dig a hole. We won't forget where it is, trust me.
Or we will, and that'll be a good thing.
And that'll be a good thing, because then no one will know where it is, except then a scientist will use it to revive his son who is about to die from a triple amputation.
But the Snyder Cut did give us an explanation of how the scientists found it, because in the original version it's just like, they just had it. Yeah. But in this, they just somehow found it. But in this, it's explained that the Nazis discovered it at some point.
I forgot that part.
And
it's a long movie.
Well, I guess you could say that, no, that's not a connection to the Wonder Woman movie, because that was World War I.
That was World War I.
But, Nazis lost the war, and they were going through all of the stuff that they found, and Americans were like, oh, look at this cool box thing.
We'll take it, and in 30 years, 50 years, someone will use it to turn someone into a cyborg.
Yes.
Yes. You guys notice that Gotham City beat Wisconsin Badgers?
I know.
I was sad.
I was a little disappointed.
I knew he was going to, but I was still like, oh, look, the Badgers.
Yeah.
We're still choking. Oh. I assume all of the football players were Badgers players, one would assume.
I didn't recognize any of the numbers or any of the, shouldn't say the numbers, the names.
Oh.
But
Guys,
I haven't really paid too much attention to who plays on the Badgers since Russell Wilson graduated.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I just remember, I forget which team it was, but they got that pro team for Dark Knight Rises.
Oh, yeah. Oh, they got the Steelers.
That's who it was.
Or some of the Steelers.
Hey, we have some Pittsburgh people in the chat right now.
Hey.
Hi, Pittsburgh people.
There's a bit of delay. Noah likes sports. I like American football, Heather. That's about it. And I really only follow the Packers at this point. So
and
my
the
life.
Browns.
Oh yes, and the Browns.
Go Browns.
Go Browns. That's
Go
Super Bowl
Browns.
50. What's the next Super Bowl? 7? Is it 56 next? Go
I think
Browns.
it's 56.
Juju went to Heather's prom.
Really?
Yeah.
Did he try to do backflips?
The important questions.
Did he have did he use the illegal sticky stuff that NFL players are not supposed to use?
Anyways, Justice League.
Right. Movie.
It's a movie that exists.
I
I
know
thought.
everyone. Mhm.
Oh, go for it.
I was just going to say, I know everyone's talked about it, but the 4:3 aspect ratio was intriguing.
Says the man currently in 4x3.
Hey, look at that. Wow.
Wow.
Money at the
I was
crowd.
considering dragging my projector screen down like all the way to the ground so I could expand my projector to fill the whole thing
yes.
up, but I didn't do that.
Tragic.
A man can dream.
A man
though.
can dream. I enjoyed the 4x3 aspect ratio. I think Zack Snyder, knowing he was making 4x3, used it very effectively.
Mm-hmm. I'd say so.
You've got an emphasis on height, Curtis, that you don't normally have in whatever the normal ratio is.
Yeah, it depends. They've been experimenting with all sorts of goofy ratios.
That's true.
But yeah, some of the CG I thought kind of looked like CG.
Yes,
But I don't know if
agree.
I don't know if like the 4:3 aspect ratio just kind of emphasized that it all looked different than I'm used to looking at stuff.
That was probably part of it. The other part is that this movie was completed during Big Rona quarantine.
Right.
They had to redo a bunch of CG so that it would match Zack Snyder's vision, right? And so they probably rushed it at the end to get it out. I'm guessing, at least some of it. Cause yeah,
So you're thinking it was kind of a cyberpunk?
Ah,
towards
not
the
nearly
end?
that bad. Not
Okay.
not nearly that bad. Big yikes. But hey,
And the,
Keanu
and the
Reeves.
comments below, should I buy Cyberpunk?
No. I own and have beaten the game. It's not worth it.
I'm waiting for the comments.
Is the guy who plays Cyborg's dad? Is that the guy who plays Dyson in
I think
Enterprise?
so. Oh wait, Dyson and Enterprise.
Dyson
Didn't he?
Enterprise.
Wasn't he the guy who invented the transporter? Or am I thinking of
That's a
someone
different
else?
guy.
That's a different guy. I was
Uh.
thinking that this was the guy from Terminator 2.
Maybe.
He looks so familiar, and I of course didn't look him up, which I should have. I can do that right now. Let's
Heather got back
see.
to you.
Oh, she did?
Heather, you have to remember we are physical media type people. We will go to a store and buy something.
Yes.
It is called a compact disc. It is a revolutionary new format invented in the 90s. I know you weren't alive back then, but
Oh.
she's in Minecraft. That's fine.
So at this time, I think we're gonna do I'm gonna do a little throwback segment.
Oh no.
It's called Ryan Reads Reviews.
I hate you.
It's been a little while. It's been a minute. as the YouTubers would say.
I hate you. I hate you, sir. Carry on, Williams.
So, from what I've seen, a lot of the ratings are like kind of mixed. If you're looking for like critical reviews, a lot of people are just kind of a lot of the main critic reviewers, like the New York Times and whatnot, Metacritic, Rotten Tomatoes, they're kind of like meh. But if you go to audience reviews,
Well, the
they're
audience,
all positive.
right? The
because
audience
this was a movie for the fans.
for the fans.
So the fans loved it. The critics are like, eh.
If you like, it's been said by other people, if you like Zack Snyder's work, you'll like this movie, and that is very accurate. It is, in some ways, gratuitously Zack Snyder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The use of a lot of 70s music. It reminded me, like, I was watching this and I was like, I feel like I've seen these scenes before. No, this isn't The Watchmen.
No.
This is this is the Justice League.
Yeah, some of the action definitely kind of felt like it was in that same. I mean, it's a Zack
It's the
Snyder
same
movie,
director. Wow.
Yeah.
Incredible job.
By the way, Silas is played by Joe Morton, who was the scientist dude.
That's
in
why he
Terminator
was
2.
so familiar. I didn't place it. I was like, I've seen this guy somewhere, and I couldn't remember where. Miles Dyson.
Oh, and he plays. You guys probably have never watched Scandal, the
No.
show, but he plays the dad of the main character, which is where I've seen him. He's very dramatic in that. He's got powerful connections everywhere.
Ah. So he's like, what's his name from House of Cards?
Also a show I haven't
Kinda.
watched.
Ooh, House of Cards is a fun show. Except the last season. It's like,
Well, isn't that because what's his name got himself into a scandal and had to be kicked off of the show?
Oh, yeah. All sorts of allegations. So they had to completely rewrite the last season. And
Pretty much.
Speaking of, Amber Heard might not show up in Aquaman 2.
I heard she will not show up in Aquaman 2.
I thought that was just a rumor.
yeah, I keep seeing alternating stuff.
Which, it's upsetting because she's actually a decent Mira. Aside from the part where, she filmed a lot of the Snyder Cut scenes with an English accent, but in the Aquaman movie, she doesn't have an accent.
Interesting.
She has an American accent, I should say. She has kind of a British
Right.
accent.
Yeah, I read that too.
But she's an okay Mira, but at the same time I'm like, you punched Johnny Depp.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Captain Jack Sparrow.
Yes.
Captain allegedly.
So I'm kind of torn.
Things will happen. Whatever.
I'm sending you on an all-expense-paid vacation.
I just
on
watched
the
that one.
Titanic.
I just watched that one last night.
What?
Dun, dun, dun. They're all just
Oh.
like, hey.
So, Curtis, I figured out why you were a little confused about the episodes of Futurama. So, I guess they decided to break up some of the seasons a little bit and move episodes around.
Oh.
I think it mostly for Hulu anyways. They moved some episodes around. So they're on Hulu it shows that there are 9 episodes in season 1. But I think they did that because they broke up the movies into several episodes to fit it into 9 seasons, I guess. I don't know. It's kind of strange.
That is strange.
But I did watch that episode. And I was laughing the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
I
Anywho.
haven't rewatched Futurama recently enough, apparently.
I think it's time now.
I think I'll live. I have other stuff to watch and read.
Like Lost or House of Cards?
No, I'm currently watching The Expanse on Amazon
Oh.
Prime.
Noah's
watched
trying to
the
talk me
original-
into it.
Huh?
Noah's trying to talk me into it.
It's pretty good.
I watched the original 2 episodes of The Expanse when they came out, and I remember thinking it looked really cool, and then I didn't have a way to watch any more of it, so...
Would you like to use my login for Amazon Prime?
I mean, we have Amazon Prime here, so
So you could watch it.
yes.
Curtis, do you know what else is on Amazon Prime?
Lost?
No.
All of the seasons of NFL film All or Nothing?
Ryan knows what it is. Curtis, have you ever heard of a detective named Hieronymus Bosch?
Oh,
I
right.
didn't know. I didn't know his first name was Hieronymus.
Yes. That's why he goes by Harry.
Ah,
Hieronymus is a mouthful.
it is.
Solid. Whoa, so many comments. Scandal
answer
is a good
is
show.
maybe.
Yay. Noah, will you be on Minecraft tonight?
It's possible that I will be. The problem with playing Minecraft after you've gotten all 111 achievements is that you've done everything.
Are you still in the J-Man's world?
I am. I'm just living in it.
Solid. Solid.
Solid. Yeah.
What else
What
about
else about
Justice League?
Superman in the black suit. That was cool.
That was great.
Did that
good
happen in
homage
the
to the
original? In the Whedon cut?
No, he gets back in the red and blue tights.
Oh, so they did some massive color correction or something.
Something.
Don't look at me.
I'm guessing Snyder probably wanted to do that because Snyder took a lot of different stories from different comics, and that would be a reference to when Superman did return. He came back in a black suit, and he had a mullet. I remember that for some reason. He did not have a mullet in this movie.
Henry Cavill did not have a mullet. No.
I was sad.
I was sad.
I
yeah.
wanted to see mullet Superman, who would fire a blaster rifle. That was a thing that happened
Huh.
because he wasn't at full strength yet, so he had to use blaster rifles to make do.
Of course.
Yes.
Why didn't I see this coming? Like the demon bicycle. Why didn't I see that coming?
That doesn't make sense. You're a bicycle.
Believer, you leaver, in leaving them all.
Curtis, that's what you should be playing on these videos. Just a lot of Coheed.
It's copyrighted, but we're not making enough views to be worth money, so we could probably get away with it.
Maybe.
Or if Curtis does a cover for it
Oh.
on his guitar.
Yeah, there's one in here somewhere.
And I think there's a second one, and perhaps even a third.
Might also be a banjo.
Well, those are in the closet.
Banjo. And Kazooie.
Kazooie.
Banjo and Kazooie? The classic platformer?
Nope.
Oh my god.
Nothing.
So I don't know, what were your guys' opinions of the Flash in this? Has the Flash appeared in anything else before this version of the Flash?
He was in a couple scenes of Batman v Superman.
Yes. Post-apocalyptic Flash specifically.
Yeah.
When Batman in this movie is like, the Flash told me in a dream that Lois Lane is the key. That was post-apocalyptic Flash in Batman v Superman that said that.
Yeah.
Ah.
He had a dream or a vision. He wasn't sure.
He was not sure. Still isn't.
where Barry showed up and he's like, "Oh, did I come back too late or am I too early or
Right.
something?"
Lois Lane is the key.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And that was supposed to be a setup for
This second post-apocalyptic dream where they reinforce that Lois Lane is the key.
yes.
Right. Yes.
I also
Mm.
want to add that all of those scenes they were filmed after
Suicide Squad?
yeah. Well, they filmed it all after the release of Whedon's
Oh, okay.
Justice
Got
League.
it. Yeah.
They just decided they knew that Snyder wanted to continue with that kind of route to set up the post-apocalyptic world.
Sure.
Didn't have any scenes for it, so they were like, let's film all of it. And they made it look really cool.
Yes.
I enjoyed it.
Kinda
Jared
looked
Leto
like,
as the Joker was actually decent
Yeah, he was a decent Joker.
for
Kind of
once.
looked like Mad Max. Land.
Yeah.
A little.
But come on, how cool is Batman in a trench coat?
It's kind of cool. And I really like Joe Manganiello as what's his name? Deathstroke.
Deathstroke.
He's a pretty cool Deathstroke.
The scene where you see his swords,
Yeah.
there's a symbol on the swords that was originally, I think, in Halo 2.
Really?
Yeah. And I don't know if that was intentional or not. But, like, one of the graphical designers from Bungie, from the old Bungie team, was like, hey, that thing I designed 20 years ago just showed up in this movie.
Nice.
Hmm.
Nice. Nice. It's all coming together. Curtis, you should play Halo.
Hmm.
So new.
So new. Unfinished. I don't know what will happen when we fire it. We'll head for the portal, and we'll all go home. Oh, yes.
We don't have a few days.
We don't have a few more days. Right.
You would destroy this installation.
Curtis is like, what's going on?
You're reciting something. Maybe a
That's
cutscene?
true.
I don't know.
Parts of cutscenes,
Could
yes.
be.
Unironically,
Solid.
though, I think we should get a capture card, and me and Curtis should stream a co-op playthrough of Halo Infinite.
Hmm. Interesting. Probably just be a stream of my side dying all the time.
That's why we're in the campaign. We can play on easy, Curtis. You'll be fine. There'll be guns. There'll be grapple hooks. There'll be vehicles with big guns on them.
Plus, if we put in a really, really good clickbait photo,
There it is.
we'll get a lot of views.
Right. Yes.
Good dramatic pause.
Dramatic.
Heather said she would
Pause.
10% watch that stream, and then she's modified and said
100%.
100%. Yeah.
So, Curtis, we have to do it now.
Have to, huh?
Yep. I'll get a capture card, and we'll be right as rain.
Hmm. Interesting.
It just reminds me of have you guys ever watched any clips of Pat McAfee on YouTube?
A while ago,
Okay.
I've seen at least one at some point.
He talked about how he was playing a game in Pittsburgh,
Okay.
and they had drawn up a fake field goal because he was the holder, where he was going to essentially just take the ball and walk right into the end zone, and the coaches were all saying that this is a 100%er. I
got
look
it.
down there, I'm like
The
100%.
And the right, they had it set up so that the one person would always be lined up the
Yeah.
one way. In their film, he had always lined up on this one side, and then this one time he lined up on the other side because
Yeah.
apparently he knew,
Because
and it failed.
Troy Polamalu
Yes, that's it.
has a sixth sense, or Jesus tells him what's going to happen or something.
And he lined up on the other side of the ball and stopped
Oh, you would
his
talk
play.
to Jesus. Oh yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, Curtis.
I've seen that one.
It's pretty good. They so now Pat McAfee, he does his own. I think he does his own XM show, but he does a lot of stuff on YouTube. He did an interview with a guy that was playing with the Steelers at the same time as Troy Polamalu, and he just describes how God talked to Troy.
Troy just knew stuff.
Huh.
Yeah. It's very good.
Interesting. Well, I mean, Troy Polamalu was pretty good, though. So.
It's true. It's true.
Very true.
Mm.
We've gone off track slightly.
Yes.
A little.
But this movie was long enough that I think us getting off track is not that much of a problem.
No. Maybe.
But we did skim like 85% of this movie.
You did ask what was our impression of this version of the Flash.
Hmm.
Oh, right.
He was always supposed to kind of be a comic relief. Even in the comics, he was always supposed to be the more light-hearted character.
Gotcha.
So for him being the silly character in this movie, I was like, yeah, makes sense.
Another person named Ezra letting me down. He doesn't know how to run.
That's true.
I hate it.
What do you mean?
Other than that, sure. He flails his arms. I'm like, that's not how you run.
Maybe that's how the Flash runs.
Curtis, Noah is looking at you questionably.
Well, I mean, obviously he was able to go faster than the speed of light in this movie, so...
That was a great thing that they did. How they established that, yes, the Speed Force exists, and yes, he can use it to go back in time. So that was cool.
He did it twice.
True. But now we absolutely know.
No, for sure.
Yeah, there was, I don't know, that whole thing was pretty crazy and intense. I had to go online, of course, and research who is more powerful, Darkseid or Thanos. And I guess the overwhelming conclusion is that Darkseid is like way more powerful than Thanos ever would be.
I mean, Thanos without the Infinity Stones is a big purple guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, sure, he can beat up the Hulk, but that's just him being a Titan.
Sure.
Yeah, I guess I didn't read anything about if he had the Infinity Gauntlet and all the stones, but...
And wants to impress Death.
What are your guys' impressions of Darkseid and the planet Apocalypse?
Looked neat. I don't know. He overshadows Steppenwolf, but you also don't get to know much about him other than he wants to rule things using the anti-life equation, which he found on Earth. And then was like, yeah, I don't remember where Earth is.
That was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah,
I
and
heard...
he was like deathly injured. He was bleeding a lot.
Well, the explanation I heard was that he invades so many planets, he can't remember every single one of them. And I said, that's fair.
That's fair.
That's fair.
So, I don't know. Curtis?
Well, he's clearly a big baddie.
They're never going to use.
So he's supposed to have kind of like laser eyes like Superman, right?
They're called Omega Beams. They're similar.
Oh. So I'm assuming that Darkseid's powers overall are crazier than Superman's?
Supposedly. Every storyline that I've seen where they have to take on Darkseid, the only way that they're ever really able to defeat him is if they go back in time, change history, and try to do it all over again. And see if that works. And guess what? It usually doesn't, because they keep going back in time.
Oh. Wow.
Huh.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. If we don't get any more movies, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
At least we have 7 hours of one cinematic universe plus Man of Steel. I don't know how long that was. Probably 2.5.
Yeah. Something.
There
We
was
got
some
two-
article about they asked the Russo brothers if they wanted to do a director's cut of Endgame now, and somewhere it was coming up. I don't know if it was true or not, but saying that they could make a 6-hour director's cut of Endgame.
I had heard a similar rumor. I don't know how I feel about that. That seems a little much.
Because they filmed
me tell you.
900 hours of footage for that movie.
Yes,
like, whoa.
that's true.
I mean, they could just do like a whole separate movie of Captain America putting the stones back.
Oh, yeah.
I've already heard that idea pitched. Let me tell you guys about the fabled 4-hour cut of Revenge of the Sith.
Oh.
You seen that deleted scene where Anakin
Hold
is
my
literally
phone.
making beeping noises?
No, that sounds
Oh,
incredible.
Yeah, he's talking to droids like beep boop beep boop. Like, oh, so glad they cut that out. Yikes!
They should have kept in the death of Shakti.
Which
Mm.
one?
They only filmed one. The other deaths are in other media.
I thought there were two.
No, I'm pretty sure there's just the one
Just
that
the
they
one?
filmed for live action anyways.
Okay.
Maybe there were two. I don't remember. It's been a while since I watched the deleted scenes for Star Wars.
So how would that have made it a 4-hour movie?
There's lots of footage, right? This
Oh.
is this is like I don't know how quite to describe it, but this is like the cult of prequel memes, which is release the 4-hour cut of Revenge of the Sith.
Oh, I want to learn about this cult.
Yeah. Did you see that they're supposedly putting the 2D animated Clone Wars on Disney Plus?
I heard that.
I did not hear that. I
Yeah.
don't pay much attention to Disney Plus now that The Mandalorian is not producing episodes on a weekly basis.
Hmm.
No, you should watch Falcon
I
and the
don't
Winter
care.
Soldier.
I really don't.
It was
It's kind of-
enjoyable.
It's I will say it's a bit of a slow start,
Mm-hmm.
and it makes me a little sad that even Avengers can't get approved for loans.
I know.
So it's kind of a bleak world.
Yep.
Okay. I'm mixing crucial context for this joke to land, so
Well.
I'm just gonna do the but
Nice.
Nice. I heard that.
That's good. That means our audience did too and now wants to claw their own ears off. Just what I was hoping for. Because if you can't hear this show, you can probably watch in 50% more comfort.
Hmm.
What about the other 50%?
I don't know. Good luck with that.
Let's see. Yeah, I just don't know. You know, I was thinking about it though. When they talk about these numbers of extra hours of footage that they have for these movies, you gotta think at least, I don't know, maybe a quarter of it is just duplicate takes of the same thing.
At least a quarter.
Yeah.
If probably more.
Probably.
No, but
So-
for Endgame specifically, there is definitely a seat of the pants feel once you get into the time heist, where they're just kind of, it feels like they're just kind of making stuff up as they went along to keep the plot moving towards where they wanted it to go.
Loki disappeared. Oh, you can watch
Oh,
that on
that-
Disney Plus in a couple years.
That's a great Disney Plus set. Yeah, it's just like, it just felt like they were doing stuff to do stuff.
Doing
timey-
stuff to get ready to do stuff. you mean.
Right. Yeah, that too. Timey-wimey
Timey-wimey
nonsense.
nonsense.
Watch Infinity War. It's better.
Hmm. Can't wait for Doctor Strange 2.
Yes.
1 year away. About. It's a little less than a year away, I think, maybe. That'll be cool.
Whatever.
What other
December.
parts of the plot should we discuss?
We could. I really liked the Ancients War. The Ancients
That was
fighting
cool.
was really cool.
Yeah. Seeing, was it Zeus and Ares?
Zeus and Ares, and yeah,
That was really cool.
it was.
Yeah.
There's a Green Lantern, and I was like, "Where's Ryan Reynolds?"
That same thought came in my head. I was like, not Ryan Reynolds is here.
Give him another chance, DC.
Come on.
Don't
That would
do
just
it.
be so funny if
Oh
he
my
just
God.
showed up.
Oh no. Martian Manhunter showed up, and I was like, "Why?"
Because he
Shut
can.
up.
Because he can.
Well, the other thing is apparently because he changes into Martha Kent, and the character that he goes back to is a character from the Man of Steel movie, like one of the one of the higher up people in the army from Man of Steel, I guess.
I have no clue. I just work here.
I don't know.
Do you think? I don't know. Do you think Zach or? I was just thinking. Do you think they'll try to pitch something like, kind of like Disney Plus-esque, like some kind of show spin-offs instead of a movie?
I have no idea. Warner Brothers seems to just throw stuff at the wall.
They could do that. The problem is they've created so many different things like that.
Yeah.
I mean, they have so many different animated shows, and they all have kind of gone towards the same end
game.
story. I want to say end game, but they all eventually boil down to Darkseid is the main bad that we need to defeat.
But we can't, so we'll go back in time.
Yeah.
It seems kind of boring and repetitive after a while.
Sometimes, I'm not sure if they ever actually do defeat him, or if in cases where they do defeat Darkseid has a way of going back in time and changing things for himself. It's... I don't know. But
We might be in a predestination paradox.
and marry my great grandmother.
Become my own
Great
grandfather.
grandfather.
That's the line.
You're being ridiculous.
Ridiculous. If I don't meet that woman tomorrow, I may never be born.
Chief, are you ready?
Are we ever?
They interviewed him recently.
Galmini?
And asked him about if he'd ever return. And I don't remember what he said.
He'd probably be like, yeah.
Professor O'Brien.
Well, in the books, he came back to the station eventually.
Is he still chief?
Yes. I forget. It's been a while. I think he is. He does lots of engineering stuff still, anyways. He came back after the original station went boom, and they built
Or did they-
DS9 2.0.
Didn't they take Empok Nor and put it in the same spot or something?
I just know that eventually DS9 2.0 was built to
Okay.
Starfleet standards,
Gotcha.
and it was way more boring because it wasn't cool Cardassian deco architecture.
Oh. How boring.
I know.
So apparently Colmini acknowledged anything is possible, but made it sound like it's not a role he'd actively pursue. So, okay.
If they came to him with a giant check, he'd be like, yeah, sure. Otherwise, nah. Makes
Maybe
sense.
Picard needs a new con officer.
Transporter chief, you mean?
His original role.
Exactly. He'll just sit there again. Sitting there in that room. Pressing buttons, occasionally doing some maintenance.
Yep. Good stuff.
Curtis, there's an online comic strip about Chief O'Brien's adventures in the transporter room and how he's
Really?
like the most loathed person in the universe.
No. Oh, Chief.
Yeah. It's pretty good.
Well,
O'Brien at
Justice
work or
League
something.
certainly will not be the most loathed superhero movie in the
No,
universe.
there are far more terrible superhero movies, like Blade 3.
Never saw it.
Exactly.
Isn't that the one where he like refused to open his eyes during filming
He
at some
was
point?
so disinterested in the film that he refused to open his eyes while filming, and they had to CGI open eyes onto him.
That sounds dumb.
Yeah, I think Ryan Reynolds is in Blade Trinity.
He is.
It's a bad movie.
I think I watched the second one, and that was it.
Ryan Reynolds has a bad track record with superhero films until Deadpool. Deadpool the movie, not his first role as Deadpool, because that was also bad.
I mean, when he started out, I was like,
Oh,
hold
okay.
on here. This is okay. But then the end of the movie happened, and I was like, oh,
Oh.
what a gut punch.
Ryan, do you know one of the writers for that movie? His name was D.B. Weiss. You may know his work on
I'm familiar with D.B. Weiss.
the game Thrones.
Of Troons?
Of Troons, yes. And you saw how that ended. The signs were there years
Darn.
before in a terrible Wolverine movie.
Darn.
We should have seen this coming. And Curtis is just going, what?
Well, Curtis, you could watch Game of Thrones now. It is available.
All 6 seasons of it.
Yes.
Nice.
I think that's going to be my reason to hold on to HBO.
To rewatch 6 seasons of Game of Thrones?
Well, they're supposedly coming out with the Targaryen series, which I'd be somewhat interested in.
Eh.
So, but I don't know if that's still going on.
It's still in production. Who knows if it'll get off the ground in any decent amount of time.
Reynolds is said to be helping out with the screenplay, the Deadpool 3 screenplay.
That would make sense.
The Marvel Deadpool movie.
Marvel Deadpool.
Yeah,
I can't
mean,
wait for
it
that meta
sounds,
joke.
It sounds like, the creation kind of train or tunnel or whatever you call it. It's a little different now that it's Marvel.
Right.
So, I don't know.
But I am anticipating a great meta joke. I feel like we're in such an expanded universe now. So many new people, like that guy. And it's just like stock footage of Chris Evans as Captain America.
Or they could pull a joke like he's helping an old man across the road, and he's like, "What's your name?" And he's like, "I was Captain America." And he's like, "Yeah, right." Pushes him over.
That's even better. Ryan Reynolds, feel free to use these jokes.
Right, yeah.
Much more better.
Much more better. It is a drawing
Of
of a key.
Hey, we're back to
Pirates of the
Pirates of the
Caribbean.
Caribbean.
Circles, Ryan.
Hey.
Circles.
Hmm.
It comes around.
Yes.
Comes around.
What other parts of the plot should we discuss?
Oh my god, it's just so much plot.
What are the things we didn't like about this plot?
I liked everything.
You liked everything. Curtis.
Things that I didn't like.
It was a flawless masterpiece.
You would be a part of the online
Yes.
reviewers
Yes. No,
from Ryan Reed's reviews.
No, I mean, it was all pretty good. Some of the CGI looked a little wonky, but what are you going to do? Like, there were a couple of shots where I thought that I could tell where like the real world ended and the CG world. I don't know. Maybe it was
Oh, okay.
the
Yep.
problem in the blending of the two things. I don't know.
I remember. The part that I was like, oh, so when they're all standing around the table and it's just a long expository dialogue scene, I was like, I feel like this could have been broken up a little
Hmm.
because that's literally the scene where they're just standing and they explain the plot to you.
Oh yeah, and they're deciding whether or not to save Mr. Superman.
Yes.
Is that the same thing? Yeah.
Yes, that is also a part of that scene.
Okay.
It reminded me of that moment in Halo 1 where Captain Keyes is like, they call it Halo. I was like, oh, now I get it. I couldn't have put that one together before.
Yep.
I still haven't finished playing Halo 1.
Oh my god, it's such a great game.
I don't know. I got through all of the other games really quickly, and I put aside Halo 1, and now I'm trying to play it, and I'm just like, I don't have the urge to finish it.
Look, I understand. You get halfway through the game, and then you're just playing all the levels you played before backwards, essentially. And that gets a little tedious. But it's still a great game. Curtis, Halo 1, when they were coming down to crunch time, they were like, alright, we can't make all new levels for all these things. So we're just going to take the same levels we already have, all this geometry that we already built, and flip it around. You're just walking through the levels backwards. Essentially.
Interesting.
It's not exact in that way. There is some mix-up in there, but one of the levels is literally you just go through the level backwards.
What you gonna do?
Yes. What are you gonna do? Also, the library is a pain. Although I assume you're on like normal or something, so it's not as bad, but it's still not great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I overheard some of the guards talking. They call it Halo 2.
Hey.
Hey. They wanted to, well, in retrospect, they wanted to make that one of the lines of random dialogue when you save some prisoners in Halo 2. They were like, it'd be a great self-reference, but they'd already made the game and shipped it. But it would have been really funny if one of the Marines that you rescue was like, they call this place Halo 2. I think it would have been a great joke. 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So overall,
I think it's a pretty great movie, all things considered. It also gets an automatic +1 because it's in the 4:3 aspect ratio,
there we go.
Wow.
making it 14 meow meow beans out of 7.
Wow. Meow meow beans.
Meow meow beans.
Man, that's a reference that only people who have really watched Community would understand.
They did that before Black Mirror.
Oh, wow. It's good.
It's good. Curtis, it's good.
Yeah. It was good.
If you have 4 hours of your time, let me tell you what you should do with it. Watch part of this movie and then use the other 3 hours to do something else.
Yeah. Then come back later.
Then come back. Yes.
I did. Well, I watched the first hour with Allie, and then she was falling asleep. So
Uh-huh.
I came back maybe an hour later and finished the rest of it. So, it's a lot of time to devote to a motion picture.
Curtis just doesn't know how to binge those Lord of the Rings movies anymore.
I don't have any of them, so
What?
I know.
What?
I don't own a single
What?
Lord of the Rings movie. I've thought about buying them, but I don't know. Keep working on other stuff anyway.
But Curtis, it's the Lord of the Rings.
I mean, I watched them enough times.
But you could continue
You could
to
keep-
rewatch them
Yes.
in higher definition than you have rewatched them any recent time.
And you could keep rewatching the bonus features.
Yes.
Hmm.
Or maybe not, because that's also really, really, really long.
Mm-hmm. Did anyone ever create... did you watch the movies with audio commentary? With Peter
No.
Jackson's?
I did
I
not.
don't
Okay.
think so.
Well, during, I believe, the Return of the King, at the end, during the credits, he starts talking about how he knows there are superfans out there who are going to import the movies and rearrange them so all the scenes are in chronological order. And I've never checked if anyone's actually did that.
Someone's done
that.
it. I assure you,
Oh,
someone has
someone-
done it. With
The
how
internet
many
is full of so
different
many things.
with how many different fan edits of The Hobbit exist, someone has done that at least once for Lord of the Rings.
Mm.
So many people have tried to fix The Hobbit. I have yet to see someone successfully do it. I don't think
thought
it's possible.
someone was they rearranged part of the Fellowship of the Ring. They were like, I redid Bilbo's introduction scene or something, and it was very confusing. I don't know.
Why? Why would you do that? It's so perfect.
I don't know.
Speaking of Peter Jackson, I was watching something about the King Kong movie
Oh no.
and how that movie was like 3.5 hours ish long.
I don't remember.
The bonus features for that movie is surprisingly less than than the actual movie,
Huh.
which I think is just strange because Peter Jackson he always has so
That
much
was
behind
like
the scenes content.
the height of Peter Jackson too.
Yeah. He was
I feel like he never recovered from that movie.
he was coming off those
That Lord of the Rings high.
10 Oscars
I
high
thought it was 19,
something.
17 or
Well,
Yeah.
he's working on the Beatles Get Back.
Yeah.
whatever.
That's going to be an outstanding film whenever that comes out.
One day.
One
I just
day.
wish The Hobbit didn't suck.
Like and subscribe.
Sure, I guess.
Sure.
Sure.
So it's 1 hour, 11 minute, and